All right, here's a really nice little combination. They both shed, so they're both looking spectacular right now. This is probably my cover shot right here. So this is my Super Mandarin belly, Leopard female. And we have her in here with my Leopard, proven Leopard het call albino male. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily, and it is boa breeding season. I kind of teased it yesterday a little bit. Today we're going to be looking at a few more boas that will be pairing up in hopes of producing some really cool babies this season. I was a little indecisive yesterday, but I kind of made a couple decisions today. Tomorrow I'll probably confirm everything, and I'll have all my boa paired up, and I'll be saying a prayer. Because you never know. Boas will, I told you, they'll break your heart and they'll make you smile. You just never know what's going to happen. So all we can do is say a prayer and hope that we get what we want. But I will talk a little bit, probably in tomorrow's video, about how I start setting up the boas. What I do for the breeding season. I usually start pairing and lowering temperatures around December 1st. Sometimes I started a month early. This year I went to December 1st because I wanted to feed a little bit extra, but I have lowered the thermostat in my snake room. Here in Florida, it's still warm out, so we run air conditioning still, so I have to cool this facility down. I can't just open up the doors because it's just too hot outside, so I have to turn the AC down. So right now we're dropping temps to about 79 degrees. Over the next week, we'll probably get it down to 78. 77 in the boa room. That will take my first room, my Australian room, down to probably around 74, 75. And then the ball python room, which is the third room, is usually the warmest. That stays around, 78, 79, which is good for the ball pythons. You really don't need to, adjust temperature too much. Now, for the boas, I'll leave the hot spots the same. I never take away the hot spots because the boas actually know to cool themselves. So if the ambient temperature in the room is cooler, 5 degrees, 4, 5, 6 degrees around there, they'll just stay on the cool side. Boas stay on the cool side anyway. The only time they actually lay on the heat is when either they've just eaten a meal and they want to digest, or when they have babies in them. Otherwise, they don't go on the heat. So it doesn't matter if you keep a warm spot there or not. They're not going to go lay on it. They're going to stay on the cool side of the cage. And then if you do, intermittently feed, at least they have something to go, bask on and digest their meal. So that's kind of the game plan right now. So that's what I did. I dropped my temperatures. I'm going to drop it by about a degree every week for the next month. Get it down to, like I said, around 70, 75, 76. I don't go too cold. You don't really have to shift the temps too much with most boas. I think the fire diamonds you need to go a little lower with. And I've been experimenting with that a little bit, but that's really all I do. And then I put the boas together. I usually give them an 8-week fast, so I don't feed them for 8 weeks. And assuming that they are at a good body weight. Some of my, on the borderline ones, I might feed every other week, just because I think if they get too skinny, they're not going to breed. They're not going to have enough reserve energy in them. Most of the time, if you have an older female boa, it's either bred before or she's like 4 or 5 years old for the first time, they have plenty of body mass and you don't have to worry about those. But it's the ones that are like 3.5, 4 years old that may be on the borderline. Those are the ones you might have to throw a meal in every so often. Same thing with the males. If the males are looking a little thin, you might want to feed them every other week or every third week. But I like to try to ideally give them 8 weeks of no food if I can do that. And I've been feeding less the last couple of years to keep my boas a little leaner. So in the past, I was able to go 8, even 12 weeks without feeding them, and they were fine. But my boas, they don't have that extra body fat anymore, so it's hard to make them go that long. But that's the whole process. Put them in and leave them there. That's it. Check on them, see if they're locked. The less you bother them, the better. Just make sure they have fresh water. All right, let's go and take a look and see what we paired up today and what we got left. All right, it looks like we're getting some breeding action here. I just put these guys together yesterday. Well, maybe not. Maybe he's just holding on. This is my albino motley het leopard female, Pinky. She actually has a name, a female. Had her for a long time now, and she's being bred by a motley jungle Sunglow het leopard, or possible het leopard. We're gonna try to prove them out. One of the nicest call albinos I produced probably ever. He was born, he was just off the charts. I'm probably disrupting potential breeding behavior, so I'm going to close the cage, but hopefully she'll breed. Gave her the year off last year. All right, guys, we're pairing up boas. I've been thinking really hard about who I want to pair this boy to. This is a Labyrinth Fire, so it's the Labyrinth gene, which you know I love. The super form of that is the Crystal, which is a blue-eyed leucistic. And it's also got the Fire gene, which we know the super form of that is the black-eyed leucistic, which is kind of interesting. And I don't know if anyone's actually made a super Fire, super Labby. I would have to imagine it would just have, I would think it would maybe have red eyes. Even though the black-eyed leucistic has black eyes, I think that if you take away some of that black, unless it would have a blue eye, that might be an interesting combination to try. I won't be able to do it. I don't have another Labby Fire to breed it to, but I'm thinking about putting this boy with my IMG Sharp Sunglow. I'll show you her in a minute. She's ready to breed this year. I'm just not sure who I wanted to put her with, and I really wanted to breed him to a VPIT positive to get that gene going, but I just don't have any females that are ready to breed that are available this season to put him with. So the next best thing, I guess, would be to produce some IMG Labby Fires that would be het for Sharp albino. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put him in right now. All right, here's another great pairing. This is our Hypo Inca het blood that we're pairing to our Hypo blood arabesque possible het albino, which doesn't really matter in this case, but they're all intertwined here. Here's our arabesque on the outside. He hasn't been a very effective male breeder for us the last couple of years. I'm assuming maybe this year he'll come into his own because he's old enough. He's over 3 years old now. He really should have bred last year for us. He didn't do the job. Now we got him with our Hypo Inca. It's het blood. We can produce some arabesque Inca bloods. I think that's going to be really cool. All right, there's our IMG Sunglow, Sharp Sunglow that is. Female I was telling you about. We got our Fire Labby in there with her. And hopefully we'll get some nice breeding action over the next couple of months. She's a virgin. She's never been bred before. This is going to be her first year. She's about 4 years old. And I think she's got the good muscle mass, girthy. She's got the mature head. Like, look at those really dark ruby eyes. That's the IMG gene making those eyes so solid black. You don't even see the pupil. Really defined pattern in her. I would love to produce a Labby Fire IMG. I think that would just be spectacular. Obviously everything will be het for Sharp albino in this litter, and everything will be possible het VPIT positive. So a lot of cool potential here. He's looking to get out of here. All right, I've been trying to breed these guys for 4 or 5 years now. They will refuse to breed, and I keep putting them together. They're actually both just hypo. They both have the hypo gene, and that's it. They're all line-bred traits. They're flamingo pastel and red tiger pastel, both of them. The female is a little nice. Look at the little mustache she's got. How cool is that? Little black mustache. She looks like she's from a Mexican movie. She's gonna do the Mexican hat dance or something like that with a little mustache. But yeah, we got her in here. She's definitely got the size and the mass on her. The male's got the size and the mass on him. The question is, are they going to do it this year? I separated them for a bunch of months. I had been leaving them together, and sometimes I think, you know what, separating, putting them back together can sometimes spark some breeding behavior. So we're going to keep an eye on these guys, and I'd love to produce more of this. I love the fact that we're pretty much working with just an exclusive line bred trait here. and we only have one gene involved, the hypo gene. So imagine we produce like a super hypo, really clean version of what the female looks like. I mean, you don't even need any other genes in this thing. There's our big Scooria Female. One of my biggest boas. She's a 16, so she's got some 7 years on her. She's produced a litter for me before. She's skipped the last 2 years. I don't know what her problem is, but I got her in with my hypo labby. I'm gonna try to produce some labyrinth scorias. I really like the way those look, and we'll see what she comes up with. She's like a really good snake though. She's a good eater. She's got great color, even into adulthood. She's just a solid snake. I'm very surprised that we didn't get any babies from her last year. But you know, sometimes when they get a little older, they take a year off on their own. When they're young, they want to breed. When they get older, they're not so eager anymore. All right, this Russo Red Pastel Hypo Sterling, which is the patternless boa, no pattern. Beautiful, one of my best of all time that I've produced. This female, we've been growing her up. She's a 2020. She is 2.5, almost 3 years old, but I just don't think she's ready. She doesn't have the size and mass to really breed yet. Just gonna have to wait another year on her. And I have a boyfriend ready for her, but sometimes you just gotta wait. You know, if the snake's not gonna make it, and I know these Sterlings are big snakes, so maybe if this was like a dwarf boa or a partial dwarf boa, I'd say, okay, yeah, she's ready, but these snakes get big, and I just don't think she's gonna be ready. So we'll give her one more year, and then we'll breed her next year. This crystal has really put a lot of size on. She just shed out. She's looking really beautiful. She will not be ready this year. Maybe next year, if we can. Now that she's big enough, we can start really hitting her with some bigger prey items and get her to grow a little faster, and hopefully we'll get her in the breeding program next year. I can't wait, really. She's possible het VPIT positive, so this would definitely be a snake that would breed that labby fire het VPI to, and possibly try to produce some crystal VPIs with the fire gene in it. So she's a future project, of course, and you know, she might not prove out VPI, but we don't know. See that nice blue eye? That's what we love about the crystals. Blue-eyed leucistics. All right, we got our Hog Island blood here. So that's a blood female. She's got 50% Hog Island blood, which makes them really light. She almost looks like a hypo blood, or even nicer than hypo blood. She's a 19. She's got definitely age on her. She's not that huge, but that's all right. They're kind of dwarfish boas, so they're going to be small. I'm breeding her to my Leopard blood. It's het for albino. We proved him out this past year, and hopefully we can make some really nice hypo bloods here, and everything would be het Leopard, possible het albino. So we're looking to make some really nice bloods once again, with potential for the future, which would be the Leopard. All right, here's a really nice little combination. They both shed, so they're both looking spectacular right now. This is probably my cover shot right here. So this is my Super Mandarin belly Leopard female that did not breed last year, and I don't blame her. I really think it was my male. She didn't slug out, but she just didn't go. And she's absolutely gorgeous. Look at those reds with the blacks in there. And we have her in here with my Leopard, proven Leopard het call albino male. He's bred many clutches, or many, I should say, litters of boas for me. So I'm thinking we'll get all Leopard. We'll get, everything will be Mandarin belly, one copy. And then there'll be possible het call albino. So I don't think you can go wrong with that. If we can, this Mandarin belly gene, I gotta start duplicating it because I just don't have enough of it in my collection. I have 2 snakes. She's my breeder female. I do have a male we're growing up as well, but I think we really got to try to produce it. I just don't know who to breed to her, and I'm just going to go with this proven guy. Sometimes when you're having trouble breeding, going with a proven male rather than an immature male is the way to go, because he knows how to get the job done. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Boa breeding season is here. I'm excited about it. I don't have ideally the ideal pairs that I wanted to do because I have a few females. I have a lot of females actually that are 21s that are just too young and they're not going to be able to breed this year. And I'll have to wait till next year. But I think next year is going to be a huge year for breeding. But we do have some good potential. I didn't show you everything yet. I will over maybe tomorrow and the next day try to show you everything that's paired up, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. There's a couple on the border that I don't know if they're going to go, and I don't even know if I should pair them up, but I'll probably pair them and continue feeding them. So this way, if they don't breed, it's not a big deal. They're still eating. They're not losing weight. And if they happen to go, then I get lucky. And that's all you can do. Sometimes you got to just, have faith and see if it goes. Look, there's nothing, you can't do wrong or right. Don't let people online bully you. Try things. Sometimes you have to learn by experience. That's what I always tell people. And sometimes things work out, and sometimes things don't. That's just the name of the game. All right, if you guys are enjoying these videos and you want to see more, show me the love. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Hit that like button. I'll see you back tomorrow morning.